What in the hell do you think you're doing?
Late for class.
You're mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimble to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Welcome to Middle Class Film Class. I'm your host for today, Pete.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Joseph.
And today on our review episode, we're going to be reviewing a Patreon pick from the Wheel of Destiny from our old pal Stu at Stu World Order. This movie we're watching... Yes, Deep Murder. That was a super energetic trailer.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So this movie it's from 2019. It is a very independent production, but full of a number of people that you would recognize. Number one, Jerry O'Connell. Number two, Christopher
McGavin.
Yeah, Christopher McDonald, and also Chris Redd from SNL fame.
Yes.
So there's a couple other people that you might recognize from small parts elsewhere, but those are three big names I wouldn't expect for a movie like this. And this is not one of the three of us's pick. This is from the Patreon. Our old pal Stu from Stu World Order. He made his appearance on this podcast under the trivia tournament that we had earlier in the year. Made it all the way to the end. And we have Stu on the back line right now. What's up, Stu? Can you hear us?
I can. How are you guys today?
Oh, doing good, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, hanging in there.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the pick. This was a really wild movie.
It is my personal rule that if anybody needs me to recommend them a movie, and I have a feeling very few people that I haven't made watch this movie, I recommend this to them.
Okay.
Is there why this one like specifically? I know it just seems like it's a kind of over the top crazy sort of like movie, but are you afraid that when you're recommended to people, they'll go, "That son of a bitch"?
You know what it was is I found this movie by accident. My wife and I were it started off on Shudder, and my wife found it one day just looking for Shudder original movies and started watching it. And we tend to just watch a movie and play around on our phone. We got like minutes into this movie and thought, this is brilliant. So we watched this movie and it really just became our official, you've got to watch this movie. And a lot of people hate it. I don't think a lot of people just get it. A lot of people just think this is just really stupid. It's to me, this is a movie that is the heir apparent to something like The Naked Gun or Monty Python. It is in that it's so stupid. It's brilliant. And I think of things like Todd Phillips said a couple years ago, oh, you can't make comedy anymore because all comedy offends people. This is a fairly somewhat risque comedy that's not offensive. It's just funny. It just makes jokes. And like I said, it's very Naked Gun-esque where it's joke. And it's just a million jokes an hour that it throws at you. And I don't know. I think it's great. I think more people need to watch it. And I'm always curious to see whether people think this is the stupidest damn thing you've ever made me watch, or whether they're on board with it.
I think you touch on an interesting point, because I think when people are talking about, oh, you can't make movies or comedy anymore, it's usually in reference to doing kind of humor that takes the piss out of a particular group of people, like a specific subsect.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, this is quote unquote racist or quote unquote anti this or anti that group or whatever, when it really is just a commentary on that specific thing or specifically about an observation and isn't necessarily punching down to anything. With this, the I guess difficult part of recommending it to people is that it's just all about like having sex and sucking dick the entire time. There's nobody in the crosshairs. It's just taking the piss out of the porn industry as a whole, which is that's fine. No one's being offended that we're making fun of softcore porn actors.
It's a mockery of how people or I should say society perceive porn actors, or I should say specifically more softcore porn actors.
Yeah. We only see the softcore nature of it, but you're assuming that they're going to get into some pretty hardcore stuff later.
Yeah.
In the universe. I feel like this kind of felt to me like a really long Adult Swim episode or segment of like a sketch from Adult Swim that just got blown up into something full length.
When I was watching this movie, I could not help but keep thinking that Private Dick was Tim Robinson.
Okay.
I could not stop thinking that it was him the entire time because he looks like the driving crooner. But also the humor, like a lot of the humor feels like it was straight out of a Tim. I think you should leave sketch. That's what it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of moments where I felt like it would fit within one of those episodes of that show.
Yeah, totally can see that.
So has anybody so far that you've recommended this to came back and said they loved it?
Oh yeah, our best friends we made watch it. They loved it. They downloaded it onto their Plex server because I know it's since left Shudder, so it's only on Tubi now. And I hope you guys didn't have a bad experience, but I tried watching it on Tubi once, and it feels like where Tubi inserted commercials was almost like right in the middle of jokes.
Oh,
and
really?
it felt like where they put the commercials wasn't in the best place. So I still have the uncut version that I can watch on a Plex server. But yeah, no, I've had a couple people that mostly, if I talk to them about it, because I did an episode of the Pint podcast where we did this movie. And I know going in, John and Joe did not like this movie. But after talking to me about it for half an hour and just reliving the jokes, I turned them around on it.
Nice. Yeah, I have a feeling that the more you spend breaking apart this movie and maybe talking about it or whatever, you find the humor in it, because I gotta say, there was a lot of times that I'm like, that joke just landed really flat. But then it was followed up with a dynamite line. So, God bless this movie for taking so many shots. It shot over and over and over again, and they didn't all land. But I mean, what mainstream comedy does, nonetheless, a very independent comedy like this.
Yeah.
So let's take a 1 second, or not 1 second, but a little bit of time to talk about what you got working on, Stu. You have your own podcast, Stu World Order. Tell us about that a little bit.
So the Stu World Order podcast, I bring guests on and we talk random comic book movies. So I have movies, they're all based on graphic novels, not necessarily all superhero stuff, but I have a big random list, and I have my guests pull 3 numbers. I tell them what their 3 choices were, and they choose the one out of those 3 that they want to discuss. And on the show, we give every movie, no matter how good or bad, we give it 2 ups, 2 downs, and then we rank it out of 10, or we rate it out of 10, not rank it. And just talk about what we liked and didn't like about the movie.
And it's all comic book movies. You have this like huge list, Excel spreadsheet of all comic book movies that constantly is growing. And you guys are just picking away at that list as the show goes on.
Yeah, absolutely. It started off at 125 movies. I've done about 90 some episodes, and I think the list still goes up until 91, 92 movies, because they just keep making more, or I'll find out like, oh, movies I didn't know originally were based on comics, I'll put on the list. Netflix came out with a movie this year, The Killer, starring Michael Fassbender. That's based on a graphic novel, so that went on to the list.
I had no idea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either when I started watching it, because it's an indie graphic novel I wasn't familiar with till I was doing research on the movie after watching it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay, that's cool.
Nice. So, and you can find Stu World Order anywhere you want. You find regular podcast, this podcast, and it's STEW, like Rob Stewart. And then the website SWO Production, which is stewworldorderproductions.com. And I'm on there right now. You even have like articles that you've released on Christmas Day. Are you okay? Are you okay, Stu?
The articles, you know what? I talk to a lot of people about that because we all know how hard podcasting is. I say podcasting's the easy part. I can knock out a podcast episode, no problem. The website is hard. We do have new articles every weekday. I did figure Christmas Day was a Monday. I could have taken that off, but I had watched a movie that was fitting for Christmas Day, so I did a movie review for that date. And all throughout January, I am doing my top 50 movies that came out in 2023. So I broke that down into 5 different 10-part lists. So starting on January 1st, you'll get number 50 through 41. And then throughout January, the other 4 parts come out till we get to the top 10.
Impressive.
Stu is a content machine.
I am. I try to be the hardest working person I know. That's the best I can do.
Yeah, it's episode on just review on December 22nd. Episode 86, G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra. That's a podcast episode. And then Starro Chips and Dips, a Young Justice retrospective, season 1, episode 25 through 26. You are really getting into the nitty gritty on the website.
Yeah, we do a lot of TV reviews. I'm doing every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer currently.
Yes.
It's my first time watch. I'd never watched Buffy before.
Oh, cool.
So this is somebody in 2023, 2024 watching Buffy for the first time and talking about the episodes. And then, yeah, you mentioned I'm doing Young Justice, the DC cartoon as well.
Stu, I wanted to ask you this. Have you done The Matrix on your show?
No, is that based on it? I know it's a ripoff of The Invisibles. I never really thought
Based
enough
off
to
of
put it
Grant
on the...
Morrison's The
Yes.
Invisibles.
Yes, that's true.
Add
I
that
never
to the
thought
list.
about add it to the list.
Does ripoff count? So how many Quentin Tarantino movies are we going to put on the list now?
Oh,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, you're right.
So we're going to get into Deep Murder. Is anything else you wanted to say? Final pitches for the movie, defend yourself, or or anything you wanted to say to point people towards the right place to find you?
No, it's swoproductions.com. Like I said, new articles every single weekday. And if you were a fan of all the Pop-Tart talk around the
Hell yeah.
Pop-Tart bowl that we just had, I have an article series on the website called Pop-Tart Quest, where I review every flavor of Pop-Tarts. That is currently 43 articles deep, where I do that many different kinds of Pop-Tarts.
My lord, that's awesome.
I love it. I love it so much. If you ever want somebody to do a cereal review, breakfast cereal review, holler at me. I'm very passionate
Absolutely.
about my breakfast cereals and my grocery outlet wine also.
Oh yeah, Pete is a connoisseur of grocery outlet wines.
That's right. Stu, thank you for the support on the Patreon and just being a loyal listener, and we really appreciate it. We're going to get into this movie now.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see you next time, buddy. See ya.
Yep.
See ya.
Take care.
See you later.
Yeah.
What a delight. That was fun.
Yeah.
I love Stu.
He's got a good podcast voice.
Yeah, he does. He's got a great podcaster's voice, and
Definitely.
I don't think I've ever seen Stu not in a high energy, ready to go mood. He's always got that we're going. We are not stopping. So, all right, Deep Murder. Again, I'm going to recap this one more time. This is from 2019, directed by Nick Corirossi, written by Quinn Bestwick, Josh Margolin, and Benjamin Smolin. Also starring Quinn Bestwick, Katie Aselton, Jessica Parker Kennedy, and a number of people you might recognize, such as Chris Redd, Christopher McDonald, and Jerry O'Connell, who we confirmed see ass. There's a number of ass in this movie.
Oh, yes.
But Jerry O'Connell, you see his face and his ass in the same shot. The rest of them, we don't know. They could be stunt butts.
There's a stunt cock.
There's definitely a stunt cock, yeah.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah, I'm going to say probably yes. And
That was more than surprising.
yeah, they danced around the nudity for a lot of the movie, and then all of a sudden there's just forefront big wang. Balls,
It's like,
balls
you've
and
been
all.
waiting for this.
Yeah.
So, and if you guys haven't figured that out already, this episode is going to be particularly filthy,
Raunchy.
particularly raunchy.
Yeah, we're gonna work blue a little bit.
Yes, we will. There's going to be talk of a very sexual nature and a brutal sort of murder nature. Here is the synopsis from IMDb. A raunchy comedy delves into the story of a deranged killer as he slashes his way, or her way, across the softcore porno. Who will last the longest as the stiffs pile up, literally, and the killer plows through his victims?
Literally.
Yeah. This is all of our first watches.
Yes.
Yep.
Rotten Tomatoes has only 4 critics reviews, so it doesn't even have a tomato meter
Really?
score. It has a 57% audience score,
Okay.
and it says it's less than 50 ratings. I actually counted it. There's only 15 audience score ratings.
Oh
Oh, okay.
on-
Not many people are even wanting to review it.
No, it is a very unknown, very small scene.
And it has very little IMDb reviews compared to big numbers. It only has 874 reviews.
Oh, really? On IMDb?
Ratings, anyway.
Okay. Yeah, and on Letterboxd, you can. I'm gonna look that up while you guys talk, because there's only 3 people. It looks like they've watched it.
There's only
That
3
logged it?
people.
That
It
logged
says
people.
4 watched and 2 want. Oh, these are just my friends. So
Oh,
4
okay.
of my friends watched it and 2 want to watch it.
Oh, I
so,
see.
Oh, I see.
so, anyways, Tyler, why don't you lead us off? Give us your initial thoughts on Deep Murder. How do you like it? And just give us a little je ne sais quoi.
Thank you, Peter. I hated this movie. This movie.
No.
This movie sucked. This movie freaking sucked. I'm sorry, Stu. Love you, appreciate you, but I do not like this movie at all. And so my initial, because we'll get into it, why I didn't like it later
No, tell
on.
us now. Wait, tell us now. Give us a good whole snapshot, a
Okay, fine.
bird's eye view of how you thought about
So
this.
I get what the movie was trying to do. Like, I get that it was trying to be meta. It was trying to be over the top with the jokes. Some of the jokes were really funny. I will admit that. It just did not land for me, partly because I like Joseph said, like at the top of the episode, he thought it was an I think you should leave skit. And I think with all of the content in the movie, it could have been condensed into 15, maybe 20 minutes. It's not to say that I did find the jokes funny. It's just hard to watch an hour and 30 minutes of something I could watch on TikTok like a couple of times. There's not a lot of substance to it.
So you're saying it would have been better as a sketch?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But it's not lost on me of what they were trying to achieve, and it was a great effort. A for effort. But
Now,
But
you said it could have been better, like as an I think you should leave sketch or something like that.
yeah.
Are you fully aware though that I think you should leave is a very divisive sketch comedy show?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. And this is a very divisive movie, apparently. But I did find myself laughing at some points, but at the same time, after it, I was really trying to fight. The movie was really trying to fight for my attention, and it was hard to keep my attention. But yeah, A for effort. I laughed at some of the jokes, and that's
Ultimately not good though.
ultimately not movie worthy.
Do you
For
think?
sure.
Not feature-length movie.
Yeah, not feature-length movie.
So I have a question. And this is audible. We didn't cover this before we started rolling or not. Do you think we should give a review before, like now, like our grade now? What would you give as a grade, Tyler?
Oh,
Just do it now
We're just doing it right now. We're flipping the whole thing.
we talked about with Stu how after the discussion maybe we'll come around on it or whatever. What do you?
so initial,
now.
Okay,
Initial
so
grade,
Initial
yeah.
grade. D.
D. Okay.
Just straight
But A
D.
for effort.
A for effort. D overall.
They certainly tried, definitely.
Yeah, they did. They did, and they did an okay job.
Okay,
All right.
Joseph, how about you? How'd you like Deep Murder?
Going into the movie, I was kind of expecting just like it seemed like a Van Wilder type comedy.
Yeah.
You know, going into it based on the poster.
National Lampoons.
Yeah. But I was surprised on how much how funny I thought actually like the movie was. Like I really did like the jokes. And some of them may have not landed or just been as good as other ones. But I did find it pretty funny. I found myself laughing quite a bit, honestly. And I think it was due to the fact that they were the world, this reality, alternate dimension where everybody plays a stereotypical porn persona.
Yeah, character.
That was pretty good. That was a pretty good concept, I think. And it all takes place within just like a mansion. Christopher
Where
McDonald.
there's an imminent hurricane.
A storm, and everybody's role. Everybody was just, I don't know if dumb is the right word, but that's essentially what they were. But they were just like stuck in their own role. And it reminded me of Idiocracy a little bit in terms of the type of humor and the types of characters they were playing. They're just unaware of anything else. And then when they start to become more self-aware and start questioning things, like when the babysitter's like, I'm a babysitter, but I haven't never seen any kids around here.
Yeah, she's become self-aware.
Yeah.
The singularity is upon us.
That was
funny.
I enjoyed that quite a bit, and even
was funny.
the opening scene where Jerry O'Connell and the wife / mom is like, my husband, your brother, is downstairs. I can't believe we're doing this while my son, your nephew. Like those are the types of jokes that really landed on me, and the whole like Chris Redd was really good in this.
Yeah.
And them like tossing the football back and forth across the table was so hilarious, and getting lost in the steam in the shower was pretty hilarious. So I think just comedy wise, I think it really landed with me. I mean, I don't think that I'm watching this movie for really the mystery part of it, like who's the killer like, type thing. That was like the driving thing that kept the movie going and kept the jokes coming. And then the private dick was also hilarious when he shows up. His constant bit, he's like, "Oh, this is not my coat. I forgot."
I don't even know whose coat this is.
No, big and tall section. I'm gonna stretch out my coat.
Yeah. See, that's the type of stuff that reminded me of Tim Robinson.
Yeah, for sure.
So much. Where it's just so offshoot, like just like tangential type stuff where he's talking to someone, having a conversation, but he's having another side self conversation about his own coat. And and then the protagonist being the son and him being like shit on and bullied the whole time.
Yeah.
Was funny, but yeah, overall, I actually did enjoy it more than I thought I was going into it, and it was pretty hilarious, honestly, because of how stupid it was.
Yeah,
because this movie is stupid for sure, but it knows it's stupid, and I appreciate the self-awareness. So like initial grade, probably just like a B, maybe like almost B plus.
Ooh, nice. B plus
but,
almost.
But yeah, B
High grade.
just for the comedy, just for the comedy aspect of it, and it was very indie, and that was probably just a result of it being a low budget movie, but also played into just like the type of movie that it is.
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah.
Awesome. Okay, I think I'm more in line with where Joseph stands. I don't think I'm quite as high on it as you are, because there were long periods of this where I'm like, that joke wasn't funny. I know they were trying to be funny with it. That's not very funny. But then there would be some really fantastic stuff, like how they come across the golden shower, and they're both like, the shower's already running. We can't waste a good shower.
Respect the shower, man.
They both just take their clothes off and they get in the shower.
Or respect the steam is what he says.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Respect the steam.
And that scene where they're stumbling around,
They're like
in this like almost like in Arrival, when they go up to the alien when she finally gets into the alien spacecraft. She's on the other side of the glass.
Yeah.
And she's stumbling around in there with Abbott and Costello, and you're like, it felt like that mixed with the boat scene from Valhalla Rising. Where
comparing this movie to masterpieces.
Yes, absolutely. and they're having this like dream like meandering through the steam cloud, like this cloud of city, and the murderer's in there and he can barely see them, and it's menacing, and you're like, oh my gosh, the gimp's in there about to kill him, but he can't even see them, and they're all clearly moving slowly. It's not slow motion, they're just slowly moving.
Yeah.
Like the quote unquote slow motion from Miami Connection.
Sure.
And then the icing on the cake is it cuts back and it shows them they're in the shower,
just like circling.
They're just tapping on the wall and stuff like that, and it's the little stuff like that was really well done. And when the private dick was introduced, and his interactions with Hugh Dangler, the main
Hugh Dangler.
Hugh Dangler.
I'm a dangler. I've always been a dangler. But their two interactions, the two of them together, were really, really good. And that's Josh Margolin is the detective, and Quinn Beswick is Hugh Dangler. They're the two writers of this movie.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Oh.
So they're clearly in real life friends. So their banter and their like rapport with each other is perfect. Their timing is really good.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of he's sitting on his lap when they're doing the stakeout.
Yeah.
And
I think I got a deck of cards on me. Oh, it's not my coat.
that got me. That was the one joke that really got me.
And then there's a running gag throughout the entire thing with the private dick where he's mad when someone gives him a tip. Like a real detective would be like, okay, I'm gonna write that down as my clue list. And he's like, who's the detective here? Let me do my job. Why are you giving me this? Don't you realize I have the hat on? I have a trench coat. I'm clearly the detective. Know your lane. Stay in your lane.
Yeah. And then at the end, he's like, "You earned this."
Yeah,
and gives him a fedora.
Gives him the fedora. Yeah. But there's a lot of stuff like that that's really good. And then the scene with throwing the football. Some of it was pretty badly done, but like where he's he's trying to catch and he's got his arms wide out and it hits him in the chest and stuff. But the actual
hit me right here in between the
right in the letters.
nips.
in between the nips.
But the actual execution of them slamming the football against the fine china on the table,
Just like windmilling the football.
yeah, that was really good. So it did feel like Stu had said, it felt like a Naked Gun, like a modern Naked Gun approach to a movie. And this is an unpopular opinion, but I don't think that Airplane was that funny of a movie. It was groundbreaking for its time. I've talked about how some of those older comedies just don't really land well on me. It's like every 5 jokes, there's a good one, and they're okay. And I laugh out loud maybe a couple times throughout the movie, but it's never uproarious laughter. This feels on par with that, but for a different audience because it's all about dicks and rubbing butts and losing your virginity and getting killed by a deep throat and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The other thing that I really liked about this was the fact that you're not quite sure how meta it's going to go because it's not really, I don't even know if I would even consider this meta in a way because a meta would almost be like now they're awakening themselves to the reality that they're in a softcore porn, but they acknowledge the reality that we live in.
You know what? That's a great point because they don't do like the wink like on the screen.
What I mean is like if it was, have you guys seen The Final Girls?
No.
So it's basically a horror movie shot like this, very campy sort of horror movie. And one of the girls, I think she like realizes that she's in a horror movie, or she goes back in time to see her mom in a horror movie or something like that.
I actually, you know what? Yeah, you're jogging my memory. I do know about this movie. Yeah.
And in that movie, there's the title, The Horror Girls, comes down in the lawn of this like camp, and like it's an actual physical object that the characters are interacting with, and she's like, "What the fuck is this?" And it's like coming down, almost like she's in the movie and she's aware that she's in the movie.
Yeah.
In this world, it's not quite that. They start getting to the point with the babysitter where she's starting to have a realization and she's starting to learn and broaden her horizons and stuff, but they never quite go, what's out there? It felt like a little bit of Free Guy without the realization of the real world. I'm this character and this is just what I meant to do. Or Wreck-It Ralph, a little bit of Get Out where they're stuck in this sort of mentality. But it really, more than anything, it felt like Too Many Cooks.
I don't think
The Adult Swim infomercial. Oh no, like
I have seen
sitcom.
It's a sitcom intro. Too many cooks. Too many cooks. And it's a never ending intro to a 90s sitcom.
Yeah.
And they're constantly introducing new characters, and then the people within the intro become self-aware.
Yeah.
And one of them breaks the mold, and they start killing the people as they're being introduced, and it's like a murder on the loose within the introduction credits to this sitcom.
I love that.
It felt more like that, and I quick story about that.
Okay.
I saw Too Many Cooks when it was first released live.
Like on air?
On air.
Yeah, because it was just in the middle of the night.
It was just a bump.
In between shows.
Yeah, and it's I want to say 12 minutes long or something like that. And you're watching it, and I'm like, this is funny. This is weird, cheesy. I wonder where it's going. And it just goes and goes.
It just keeps
goes.
going and going.
And they have Garf the cat, and there's more people, and then eventually the characters are turned into like their letters that make up their name below their character. They start using that as weapons to kill each other, and it's really, really fucking weird.
Yeah.
I saw it live, and
It gets strange.
I thought I was losing my mind because I don't know if I was like drunk or high or something like that, but it gets weird. So I liked where it went with Deep Murder. Clearly, this is something you can't just recommend to anybody. I know Tyler says you can just recommend Saltburn to anybody. You can't.
I recommend any movie I like to anyone.
Yeah, maybe you should rethink that.
I don't give a good goddamn.
Again, know your audience.
Yeah.
To know my audience.
Hey kid, have you seen Saltburn? You should check it out.
Yeah, you should watch this guy slurp cum out of a drain.
Oh god. Yeah, that was a very sick scene.
Along the lines of that, this is a movie that you have to qualify before you give to somebody. And I like Stu's idea of just showing this to everybody and just getting a litmus test of where do you land on this?
I think I agree with you too. I think
but these are friends that he's recommending it to, not coworkers. I would never go into work and be like, hey guys, I watched this great movie. It's called Deep Murder. it's a little weird, and then just leave and never follow up on it because I'd be put
It's
on
right off into the sunset.
Yeah, I'd be having the HR meeting after that.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's an indie comedy.
It's a comedy.
Feel good indie comedy.
I think the humor of this movie will be lost on people who didn't grow up with softcore porn, though.
That's a whole nother thing, which I agree with. I think that if you're, depending on what your media literacy is of pornography, you may or may not really resonate with this.
Because people, I feel like a younger generation who didn't grow up with Cinemax or HBO or anything like that, watching late night or even oh my god, even basic cable, you could change the channel and you could try to get a little bit of a glimpse of a boob from Naked News.
Can I finish?
Oh, sorry. I didn't
yes.
mean to stand on my soapbox about pornography.
Yeah. Your unbroken streak of interrupting the initial thoughts is still alive.
Oh, wait a minute. We're still in initial thoughts.
I need to get my grade.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah. What is your grade?
Thank you, Tyler. Thank you for asking.
He'll get there.
Yeah. So I might as well. I thought this was probably like a B-.
Okay.
And I'll say that the look was perfect for what they're trying to do. The comedy worked for what it was, and it's not a great movie, but it was a funny movie.
Yes.
So, and it's what else do I want? I want a comedy, and this wasn't made for me, but I appreciated the type of comedy that it was, and they took a lot of big swings. It didn't always hit. You don't have to have 1,000 batting average or 800 batting average in the MLB. 300 is good. 325 or whatever. I don't know baseball that well, but
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for a comedy to be funny 100% of the time.
4 out of 10 jokes, I consider that good.
Yeah.
If you're batting 50-50, if you're at every 5 out of 10, every other joke is a win. That's really good. I think they were probably around that range. Maybe like 4 out of 5, 5 out of 10 were 4 out of 10 or 5 out of 10 jokes were pretty damn good.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's where I land on it. So Tyler, you were talking about Cinemax?
Yes, I was.
Go on.
I will go on. Thank you, Joseph. So I think the comedy of this movie would be lost on a younger generation who didn't grow up with cable television, mostly because...
Back to cable.
Mostly because I think the style of acting for this movie is it's pretty much verbatim of how softcore porn actresses and actors acted in those softcore porn movies that were shown on Cinemax. What do you mean? How would I know? I was a young boy. I was a child. I was in love.
Okay.
It was wrong, and I knew it, which made it even more hotter.
That's enough. Okay.
But I think the reason why it's humorous is because of the way they act, and they're very deliberately acting like bad actors. So it's a shame because there is a lot of great jokes in this film, but I think the cadence of acting is lost on a younger generation, and it's a shame. Especially because it came out in 2018, 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was necessarily a younger generation because like Brianna is the same age as you, and she's...
No, she isn't.
Yes, she is.
She's 31?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. I'm the old guy. You guys are all 30, 31.
I had no idea.
I'm 37. I'm old.
I don't know.
I'm happy to be... I'm fine. But anyways, she just doesn't... She has no...
Frame of reference?
And that's a huge amount of people. It's like, you're not going to be... Everybody knows the kind of the schlock and the joke about the softcore porn. It's, I'm here to deliver you're here to deliver a pizza? I hope it's got extra sausage.
But that's only that I would say that also can be attributed to other movies.
Correct.
That also make fun of.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Like
You're right.
Never having seen the source material, you already know the joke of this is shitty acting. It's even back to The Big Lebowski. Somebody order cable television out. I need to clean your pipes. And it's the Jackie Treehorn production, and Julianne Moore, your beloved Julianne Moore, is. You can only imagine where it goes from here. And he goes, he fixes her cable. I don't know. That joke's been around for a long time, but
yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
I just like the fact that they took these people and they didn't make them actors who are playing porn stars. They made them real life humans, like a different species of human that
You're
is
right.
just
It's just ingrained into their DNA.
That's just how they are.
they're like digital avatars of human beings. Which the funny thing too is at the near the end of the movie, a real life porn star is in the movie.
Is that right?
The blonde plumber that it's only on screen for 2 seconds.
And she's the one where they're like, get out of here.
Yeah.
right?
Oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah, they're like they finally are done with.
we don't need a plumber.
They're all done with all the sex stuff, and they've kind of like cracked the code, and they're finally getting ready to figure out who it is and get to the end of it. And they're like, "Did someone say you have clogged pipes? Get the fuck out of here! What are you doing here? Leave!" She looks legitimately scared. That was a real porn star. Or I read in the trivia. I don't know the name, but
that's funny. That's funny. That's great. Man, you know what, Stu's goddamn. I'm coming around.
You're what around?
It's called a reach around.
okay, you're reaching around on this.
I'm gonna
Reaching
come.
around. I really like the dedication of the cheesy acting because it's done so well. It's believable.
I could use less of Dr. Bunny Van Clit.
Dr. Bunny Van Clit.
But that was a very
when she was leaving, I thought that was pretty good.
That was pretty. Yeah, as she's walking away.
She's just yelling and just gets further and further away.
And that's a funny name too. Bunny Van Clit.
I'm a weather scientist.
Yeah. How did I have time to do all these things?
I love science.
I was in space, and you was evil in space too.
Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes with that character was when she was doing the paper mache volcano.
Oh,
she was
yeah,
trying
she's
to
trying
do
Yeah,
the
it's like
thing.
forensic.
Wait, I put the baking soda in there.
As soon
And then I put the vinegar. Why isn't it doing science?
as soon as that scene started to happen and started developing, like building up to it, I was like, she's building a goddamn paper mache volcano. I already knew it.
I'm gonna call out some of the good jokes that really got to me. Some of the cheesy writing of the Chris Red is about to have sex with the babysitter, and he goes, "I'll be right back. I got some rubbers in my JanSport because I'm a football player."
Oh yeah, that was
And she goes,
that was a running joke.
She says, "Don't be long." He says, "Too late."
too late. Yeah.
I am.
Oh my god.
That was really good. Jerry O'Connell really committed to the role. He looked like he was having a lot of fun. She the mother of the household
That
says
tiger stripe thong.
I want you to make me feel like a woman again. And he says, "I want you to put your finger in my butt."
That one I was legitimately shocked to hear.
I like the gag where they're piling bodies onto the.
Onto the
Yeah, it's-
Every time someone got murdered, they just put it into the pile.
Yeah, it's at some point, out of respect for your mother, we need to do something with the corpse, and then it just flop right onto the pile of corpses.
I liked the end where he realizes and he's like, "Let's take the bodies off," and they're like, "I wish you told us that before we just put a body on."
I missed that line.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought about that too. It's why wouldn't you tell us sooner?
when Jerry O'Connell dies,
He does with a boner.
yeah, he dies with a boner,
Yes.
and then they say there's blood everywhere, and they say, "Should we try to put it back in him?"
Yeah, that's like the idiocracy part of it. Like,
Yeah.
blood goes in the body.
Chris Red goes, "Yeah, that's where blood lives, inside a man's body." What do we do now? Do we fuck? Oh, that's pretty
Yeah,
good.
this movie, it's you know what, it's simple and dumb. I think one of my complaints about it is that it's not family friendly. So
So
what do you mean? What was the
it's
hand
not
wave?
family friendly.
Because the jokes are legitimately funny. It's just the subject matter is not family
I
friendly.
thought you said you would just recommend it to anybody,
Yeah, I would, but
But wait.
and then you would burn your bridges because of
You're upset because it's not family friendly?
well, no, I'm not. I'm not upset. I just wish that the talent of the joke writing was put into. You know what? I'm confused. I'm confusing myself. I'm confusing myself.
You wish this was a family friendly movie?
I guess so. But here's the thing. I
Okay.
am going to look into the other content of the writers and see.
There's not
if
much.
they're-
Yeah,
oh,
there's
there
not
isn't?
much, unfortunately. It's mostly all
man.
mostly it's all shorts and stuff like that.
Oh, I'll check them out.
Which is
anyway.
cool because if you're writing, let's just say you and your friends are writing little fun YouTube shorts or dumb shorts or whatever stuff for film festivals, and it's all really getting no traction. And then you write a full length movie, you get these named people to be in it,
Yeah.
and then it gets released on Shudder, albeit for a very short time.
Yeah.
It's like that's pretty cool.
That's still really cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be family friendly.
I mean, I guess the point I was trying to make is that there's a lot of talent here, and I would hope that I could show it to.
You want it to be PG-13. That's the message of the studio heads when they're like, make it PG-13. We want more people to see it.
Rebel Moon.
Oh, you look
I should be
capitalist pig.
I should be an executive in Hollywood, and that'd be a great.
Make this softcore porn movie more family friendly so my kids can watch it.
Hey,
that's right.
Oh, I'm confused.
I don't think Tyler even understands it.
No, I think what it really is. It's a testament to how funny the jokes are, and I think, given that talent, it could be used in a mainstream sort of.
You want it to be more accessible?
Yeah.
You want more people to see it?
No,
This
I want
D
more.
movie.
I want.
This movie that's
I want,
a D.
No, I want more people. I want these writers to be more accessible to mainstream content.
You want them to do bigger things?
Well, in theory, if this movie was good, if people
That's what I was
actually
trying to
rated
get
it good,
across.
then they could make more stuff. But when people like Tyler rated a D on IMDb,
Yeah.
a 4 out of 10,
Yeah. I mean,
From now on, you will speak only when spoken to.
okay.
there's a couple. I see where you're going with it, Tyler, because you're like, I wish more people that they can do more.
Yeah.
In theory, yeah. Let's see.
I don't. I'm bad with words.
I got a couple of more fun lines that I tagged as very funny. This must be Doug's room. He was a sportsman, and they look at a picture of him with a rhino he just killed.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, "Is that a zoo?" He's in the cage at the zoo, and the detective goes, "Still a real rhino."
I forgot about that scene.
And then they find a letter that Doug had written, and it says it's a checklist. It says 1, thoughts by Doug. Number 1. I wish I could see my own balls when fucking a girl. I feel like I'm missing something cool. But then they find the letter opener, which is the murder weapon for the first murder.
Mm-hmm.
He says, someone threw a tiny sword in the fire. Judging by the hilt, we're looking for the killer to be somewhere around 3'5".
Yes.
Oh, that's really good.
I really love that scene so
The first part of the movie that really clued me in into what it was going to be was when they were like, call 911, and he's like, I know those numbers, and he goes and he's looking at like the kid, like a toddler phone basically with the huge numbers, and he's like 9 1, and he's like
Thinking about it.
2, 3.
1, and he's like, hi, how are you? And
Yeah,
then
that's
they're trying
good.
to call an emergency, and then
The pizza guy comes.
and then the private dick shows up
Oh, it was
immediately. Pizza guy shows up later, and he
I thought, okay,
and
yeah,
he
you're
gets
right,
stabbed in the
you're
arm
right.
by the private dick.
Yeah, there's also the fireman comes.
Yes, and that's
To
when
the door.
we get the clue to Jace is his character's name, or Chris Redd's character, the jock.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like looking at him, and he's like, yeah, you can come in with that big hose of yours.
Yeah. And when he slams the door in his face, he goes, "What are you doing, man? You turned away a perfectly good beefcake."
Yeah. I think the ultimate funniest scene for me in this movie, it's a battle between two. One of them is when the character Jace gets stabbed and the private dick is like talking, and he goes to him. He's, I think he's already dead.
Oh, yeah.
I think he died while I was talking.
Or no, yeah, he died while I was talking. It was so funny.
Let me see if I have that line here. Tasa, out of respect for the corpse. I don't think there are any children in the house who have been babysitting. Oh, when they decide to split up, he goes, "You want me to go to the attic? That really freaks me out. One time I saw a bird up there," which is a great line, and then it's followed by what I thought was a bad line when he's, "Let's split up, and Hugh, try not to get murdered." Like, It's okay. It's not. It's
all right.
in the trailer. It landed well. In the movie, I think the pacing of it, it's almost like they paused for a laugh, and it didn't laugh, so it just seemed a little bit weird.
I didn't know, like when I was watching this movie, I didn't know there was going to be a lot of jokes because I was thinking to myself, like near halfway through the movie, I was like, I gotta write these down,
And then you didn't.
No, I didn't. I couldn't type fast enough. It was like a machine gun.
Yeah.
It was just like bang, 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 bang.
But then the whole like reveal and everything, you can see it coming with the twist that it was Jerry O'Connell who was committing all these murders, and he's the one in the gimp suit with the huge strap on, walking around terrorizing and throwing dildos at people.
I'm hardcore.
His whole motivation is that I'm tired of this softcore stuff. Your guys are soft to the core. I'm hardcore.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's saying, gaping.
I'm hardcore. I'm the pissing, gaping, throbbing. I am the future.
Yeah.
That's what he says.
So he's like the evolution from softcore porn to that was like what in the 70s.
I'll say this, that pornography is it can be a very frightening thing because
We should create a spin-off podcast where we just review porn movies.
middle class porn class.
No, middle class at night.
Oh yeah, after dark.
After dark.
It's almost like, it makes you think about the nature of human sexuality and
Yeah.
are we evolving into the more depraved bullshit that we see out on the internet now that is available to anyone that just knows how to Google the right free websites? Or has it always been there for hundreds of years and now we're just seeing it and showing it to each other?
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. It's always been there.
It's
always been there.
It's like those people you'll hang out with someone or you meet someone new and they will have this weird food combination that you've never heard of. They're like, try it, like bananas and Mexican rice or Spanish rice, but just mix that together in a bowl.
Sounds terrible.
It sounds terrible. Like
I have one for you, but go ahead.
and it's you've never heard of that before, bananas and Spanish rice, but then you try it and you're like, it's actually not that bad. I don't know about that.
Yeah, sure.
But that's just like the example, because some people will be like, that's actually really good. Don't knock it till you try it, right?
Yeah.
That's the analogy I'm making.
So that's where we are in the porn world. Someone just, have you ever tried have you tried milking? Like Dave?
Like in Mutant Mayhem?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then someone else has to describe what milking is. And then everybody who's listening to this podcast who has a vague idea of what I'm talking about is going to put their safe search on and go look it up for themselves.
What does that mean?
And then you're going to unlock something you never knew you wanted or needed or whatever.
Yeah. Needed.
I don't know about all that, but I will say that it feels like the nuclear arms race that is pornography is reached a critical mass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's wrong with Missionary is what I'm saying.
That Cronenberg movie that we did.
Yeah,
Videodrome.
crimes.
Oh yeah, Videodrome. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's wrong with a good old missionary position or a good old reverse cowgirl?
Yeah.
Were people in the 1800s like clutching their pearls if at the thought of oral sex, or is that normal? Now
It'd be interesting to find that out. But
people are blowing each other on the first date now.
How about you
Really?
put that in here?
Yeah. Wait a second.
Wait, Joseph, do you want to know the weird food combination that I
please.
partake in?
Yeah, tell us.
I want to hear.
Grape jelly and ramen.
So like soup ramen.
You make the full.
So you make instant ramen. You make top ramen.
Okay.
And then you
what
put
flavor? Any flavor?
The
Soy sauce?
soy. I almost said a bad word, but
What were you
it's
about
not-
to say? What?
But it's not called that anymore. Yeah, soy sauce flavored.
Now it sounds like it was going to be racist. Can you just say what it was?
No, because it is racist.
Oh God, Tyler, how dare you?
Yeah. No, it was called that before, but then they
Oh, like
changed
the
it.
murder on the Orient Express.
Oh, is that what it used to be called? The Oriental flavor? Oh, I never knew. I guess I never put two and two together. That one disappeared and now it's soy sauce.
Now it's soy sauce.
No.
Yes.
Oriental's not
Murder on the Soy Sauce Express.
Yeah. Oriental just means Eastern.
I didn't know that. I'm not gonna say it.
It's not a bad word.
Yeah, people
Depends on how you use
well,
it, I
because
guess.
of the show, people think I'm a Nazi. So
It's only because of the things you said that were
I'm not a
pro-Nazi.
Nazi. Please don't think that.
It's only because of the pro-Nazi messages that used to be on the show.
But yeah, grape jelly and top ramen. Chef's kiss.
I bet Stu would like that.
Really?
Yeah,
Interesting. How'd you even find out about that?
The late great Brent, he introduced it to me after a vigorous bike.
A vigorous what?
A vigorous fist biking session that we had.
Yeah, after
Biking, like the opening of Bruno.
After a bike ride, and we were just like, oh god, we're so hungry. What do we have in the house? What do we have in the house? We were at his father's house.
It wasn't like you guys were both biking and you had a bowl of ramen and he had a spoonful of jelly and you crashed.
It's the story of Reese's Pieces.
Yeah.
No. And so we came back and he was like, I know a really good recipe for ramen. And I was like, oh, there's a recipe for it? And he's like, yeah, he put grape jelly in it. And then he made me a bowl of ramen with grape jelly, and then the rest was history.
Is it like a sweet savory type thing?
Yeah, sweet and sour. Yeah.
Interesting. And grape jelly.
Every time I've told people that, because I swear by it, every time I've told people,
I'm scared.
I'm gonna try it now.
They're just like, you insane man.
You guys are nuts.
Please get out of my house.
What are you doing here?
Like,
This
why?
is my room.
I don't even know you.
This is perverted. This is creepy.
Getting back to deep murder, though.
Wait, I want to explore on this a little bit.
Wait, no, that's okay.
What else is there?
Raspberry preserves is very good on jalapeno poppers. Yes.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. So, vis-a-vis, ergo, grape jelly may be good in ramen.
Maybe.
I'm going to give it a shot, Tyler, and I'm going to report back to you.
Okay, I can't wait.
I can't wait.
Cannot wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other lines that stuck out to you, like Joseph? Anything that specifically popped in as a good joke or a running gag?
The way that I guess some of the people were killed, like the mom was killed by being stabbed in the back of the head,
Like backwards deep throat?
with a
I
glass
didn't think
dildo?
about that.
I don't know.
It's like an award or something like that.
Yeah.
I thought it was, oh yeah.
And then Christopher McDonald gets fisted with his own arm before he's. Oh, but okay, that scene when he's like being like he's put there as bait.
Yeah.
And
Dick Dangle.
he's like trying to antagonize or intimidate the killer, and he's like, you ain't gonna stab you, know you gonna do it, and then he gets stabbed.
Oh yeah,
yeah. You don't have the balls to do it again. Fuck. Yeah, you don't have the gravy to do it one more time, do you?
You don't have the gravy.
When you're
I'm gonna start using that phrase. You don't have the gravy.
And then at the same time, everybody keeps up the mystery because they're like looking at the killer, but we don't see him, and they're like, You're his or her knife in your hand, or
yeah. There was right before that scene when right before that scene when they're on the stakeout, they have Christopher McDonald as bait.
Is it when he questions why he's strapped?
No. He's got him tied up as bait, and they're hiding in the closet, and they hear the doorbell ring, and he goes, "Oh, I really want to get that, but we promised my dad we'd stay here. God, it's so boring."
That's the dick, right? The private dick.
Yeah, but it's both of them.
We'll be
in the
right
closet.
back. We'll be here 24/7, but we'll be right back.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I like the bit where, oh gosh, let's see where I lost it in my notes here. The detective comes in to the fresh murder in the shower room, and he goes, "Hey guys, this place is crazy. I'm pretty sure it has raccoons." And then as soon as he sees the murder, he's like, "Oh God!" And he leaves the room.
And even the fact of him, like even when he first gets there and he sees the dead body and he vomits.
Oh, instantly vomits.
Yeah. And he does it twice. He vomits at the beginning, then
What does he say?
I had a really big lunch.
Yeah.
This was unrelated to the corpse.
Yeah.
I walked up the stairs too fast. That's what he said.
Yeah.
I walked up the stairs too fast.
When the mom gets killed, and they're talking to Christopher McDonald, plays her husband, and they said something like, we need to. I can't remember what he says. We need to like split up, or we need to call the police. Yeah. He says, "I need that like I need another hole in my wife's head."
Oh my God.
What a great line. When could you ever use that line again? And then there's the moment between Dr. Bunny Van Clit and the babysitter. And they're talking about the Bechdel test, which is probably the most meta part.
Yep, the Bechdel test. I forgot about that.
Yeah. What's the Bechdel test? Oh, it's all you have to do is have two characters in a movie with names talk to each other about something other than a man.
Two female characters.
Yeah, two female characters.
Female characters.
And it's funny because they're doing it right then.
at that moment,
Yeah.
except for one of them is just credited as the babysitter.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Before she gives her name, she cuts her off, so it fails the Bechdel test.
See, that's. I mean,
What was her name? Phyllis
Gorman.
Oh yeah, Phyllis Gorman. And then I like how like they had.
I have a beautiful name,
Yeah.
Phyllis Gorman,
And they're
like,
like,
"Ugh." Right? Yeah. There was like that was pretty clever, that Bechdel test, and there was a lot of clever kind of stuff or tongue in cheek stuff like that, where it's just like they're aware of what they're doing and when they're writing this.
It's very clever. Like I said, I don't think it all works. Looking back on it, I think it's funnier, and maybe watching it a second time. But this would be a good group movie if you could find enough people to be like, hey, do you want to watch a softcore porn murder comedy?
It's like a parody almost.
Why would you describe it like that? I would just feel like, do you want to watch a movie?
Because I respect my friends. Because I don't
What
want
do you
to.
mean? That's so.
I don't want to throw them into something that's going to make them uncomfortable. If somebody has triggers that are sexual in nature and they don't like the idea of sex on screen or whatever,
or
it's like,
slurping cum out of a tub.
yeah, it's literally I'm just respecting the other people, Tyler. It's a very common thing you do for people that you
that's
actually
true.
like.
It's probably the only reason why I
Hey
only have
kids,
two
you want to watch
friends.
Saltburn?
Yeah. You ever seen this movie called Solo?
Oh God!
It has another title, but I can't remember what it is.
Oh, yeah.
I
100
did-
Days of Solo or something.
That's
like that.
funny. I
There's a
did recommend.
Oh yeah, that's it.
I did recommend Swallow to someone before.
No, not Swallow.
I'm talking about Solo.
Oh, Solo.
Yeah.
Solo.
I like also when he's, did you kill my mommy? My only mommy?
Yeah.
My one and only?
So dumb.
I know.
It's so dumb.
Oh, another great line. Uncle Doug was the killer, but he wasn't even breathing. How? Maybe it was that lifetime of eating box underwater.
Oh yeah.
Why'd he do it? I don't know. People say girls like it, but it freaks me out.
Yeah, and then they had the whole like he's like watching the home videos of them like through the decades.
Oh yeah, and the videotapes
like,
are like
Here
labeled
we
through
are.
the 70s.
We're in 1982.
And he's still a student.
Yeah. We're gonna live forever.
He's
They didn't have VHS tapes in the late 70s.
like I said, they're not human. They're
Yeah.
different species of creature. He's
makes more
he's a
sense.
football player,
Yeah.
and he's immortal until they're murdered.
And then even the confession
It's immortal.
when he's like cutting like the turkey or something, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna kill someone someday." What? Like I said, I'm gonna kill someone someday.
Yeah. I could really imagine myself killing someone someday.
Oh my God, that is you know what? Looking back on this movie,
Here it comes.
I'm really coming around.
What? I can't change my mind.
What do you mean? That's true. Like,
You're edging me.
Stu said that exact point.
Yeah, it is. And as I was watching, I'm like, this fucking movie.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this movie? And as I'm laughing,
Yeah.
it's okay. I think it's okay. It's know what you're getting yourself into when you start watching it. And if you're, I'll say this. I think I want to say it's Eric from Cinematics says this on a lot of his reviews. If you're 10 minutes in, you know what you're going to get yourself into. You know the type of movie it is. If you're 10 minutes in and you're like, this is not for me, nope, out of there.
Okay.
Be gone. But if you get 10, 15 minutes in and you're like, this is pretty funny, you know, I see where they're doing with this and I like it. It only gets better from there. But if you're watching this and you're like, there's a lot of talk about sex in this and that makes me uncomfortable. No, this is not for you. It is very.
There's gonna be a wiener on screen.
Yeah, there's gonna be a dick.
Yeah, they're just gonna.
There's two bare asses side by side.
Yeah, they show dong.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
there's talks about deep throating in the deaths. There's kind of brutal deaths where one of the guys gets a foot shoved up his butt.
There's even an incestuous innuendo at one point.
Oh yeah, a kid gets a hard on while he's hugging his mother, and she tells him it's normal.
I thought that was gonna be like a Chekhov's boner.
Me too.
Introduce the boner in the first act and fire it off in the third act.
Yeah, I thought that.
He's gonna use that as a weapon.
I thought that was gonna happen as well.
One thing we didn't mention too is I really liked Christopher McDonald's character as the constantly on the phone businessman, constantly referencing a Japanese business associate, but he's using words like Mr. Tamagotchi, Mr. Kawasaki, and at some point he goes, if a shark stops swimming. Or if a shark stops making money, it drowns. I'm not gonna drown, baby. He played it really, really good.
Yeah, it was.
He went in on this role.
Get it through your skull. My wife is dead. Dad, why are you crying?
Because I lost encounters.
Yes. No, he says, yes, Mr. Tamagotchi called. We closed the big deal.
Oh, yeah, it was tears of happiness.
These tears of joy, not because his wife was just murdered. Anything else you guys wanted to cover?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's not.
It's funny.
Yeah, it's not a very deep movie, but it is.
It's a deep murder, though.
Yeah, we didn't mention that last week we had deep cover. This week we have deep murder.
That's right.
I know. I really wish I could have been there for the deep cover episode.
You were there.
Yeah, you were there in spirit and on audio.
It wasn't the same though.
No, it wasn't. How'd you like that movie? Give that a grade. You didn't give it a grade.
What, deep cover?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, solid A. Love that
Okay.
movie. Love that movie.
We gave
Lawrence
it a D. We gave it a D for you.
Wait. Oh yeah. You know what? I did hear about that. I did hear about you.
Who told you?
The own shit. You guys yourselves. No, it's a solid A. Please, classmates. Again, I don't know. Like the audio was weird. Like I was exhausted, and it just felt uncomfortable to record on my own phone. But anyways, yeah, deep murder though. That.
Where are you going with this, Tyler?
Are we doing okay? Any changes to our grades?
Yes,
I'm still sticking with a B minus for me.
Okay, I'm still middle B.
Yeah.
I'm still a middle B. Still. I am
Now a B.
B.
Now a B.
Solid B. Well, you
Okay.
raised two other grades. You were.
Yeah.
Would you say D or D minus before?
I said D. I
Okay.
said just a solid D. But
So-
now it's a B. I think what I was going off of for my initial grade was that maybe I just wasn't in the right mindset for watching a
B. This movie's all B's.
cheesy movie.
Yeah.
But now that like we're like talking to you guys about it,
I still don't know who I can recommend this to, but if you heard our conversation and you're like, this sounds about my alley, I think you're already probably added it to your to be watch list.
Yes.
Yeah. Tubi,
I watched
Pluto.
I watched it on Pluto.
Yeah, I watched it on Pluto.
I rented it.
You can watch it on YouTube. Stop doing
Why
that.
you do that,
What do you,
guy?
What do you mean do?
Why are you
what-
punishing
what-
yourself?
How is that punishing
It's
myself?
free.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're constantly begging you to chip in on hosting fees for the show.
What? You're not begging me to do it.
Constantly, and then you're like, I have no money. I have to pay my parents this exorbitant rent all the time, every month. I have to pay them. I got
You've never given me a solid amount of. You've never given me
my stocks are in this shitter. Do you know how much money I've lost this quarter? Is what you said. and then
The blockchain.
Yeah.
The blockchain.
You said your concerned apes were stolen, and now you have no money.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Wasn't there a mention of the blockchain in this? No, that was a different movie. I was
I
watching.
don't think
I
so.
think-
That
I
was
think
deep.
so.
That was deep cover.
But yeah, solid. Definitely solid B. It's just it. Definitely.
No, it was
funny.
Tyrone.
Oh yeah.
I think it was Tyrone.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Stu from Stu. Yeah, Stu from Stu World Order. Thank you for the recommendation. Another movie I would never seek out on my own and watch it, and that's why I really love the Patreon picks.
And yeah, now what are we doing?
Oh,
now
yeah.
we're going to the,
I guess it's time for the wheel.
1 wheel, 8 slots, 3 hosts. This is the Wheel of Destiny.
All right, Deep Murder is the last Patreon pick that's on the wheel, and I've sent messages out to a couple of our Patreon members just to say, hey, you're about up for the next review. And how many has this been now? We did An Unfinished Life. We did
Deep cover.
Deep Cover and Deep Murder. We didn't do a fourth Patreon pick, did we?
I did. I just
In a
can't
row.
remember.
In a
In
row?
a row.
Yeah.
And Unfinished Life was the first one, I think.
I think it was.
Yeah.
So I sent a message out to Javier, Andrew Martin, and Joel, which are next on our list. Javier is actually the first Patreon member who subscribed to the Class Clown level or above.
Yeah. So before Unfinished Life, it was Hurt Locker, and that was Tyler's pick. So it's just been those three.
Okay.
So there's no more.
We don't have any currently, but let's see. I actually just got a message from Andrew Martin, so we can load this up for two of
Speak
them.
of the devil.
We've been texting about the show. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna add 2 Patreon picks onto the wheel.
Okay.
Are we still only doing?
You want to go and do one more? One more Patreon pick?
Yeah, let's do one more.
Okay, one more. And this is we have 2 people who are next in line. One is Andrew Martin, one is Joel, and then it goes back up to Javier. And Javier hasn't messaged me back yet. It's been like a week, which is fine.
Javier, where are you?
That's fine. That's fine. He's a busy man. Okay,
You
so
liked one of my Instagram stories.
oh, cool. All right, from Andrew Martin with the podcast Andrew Watches Movies, we have Frankenhooker.
Oh, I've heard of it.
Me too. I've heard it's a lot of fun. And then Joel Shinneman, proprietor of your diehard ornamental goods.
Yeah.
He has a movie called Robot Jocks with an X from 1989. Robot Jocks.
Robot Jocks
Okay.
with an X. 1989.
Yes, and I have a little blurb from him. If it lands on that, I'll read it. So we are going to do one more spin of just Patreon. If it lands anywhere from here on this side, it's going to be Robot Jocks. If it lands here on this side, it's going to be Frankenhooker. So let's give it a spin. It's what we watch next week. And we'll get back to our unadulterated spins.
And it's right
It
on.
lands right on Robot Jocks.
Robot Jocks.
This is, I asked him, I said, ooh, I've never heard of this before. And he says, it's another cornerstone of my childhood. That being said, it's not a fantastic movie.
Oh, Stewart Gordon. That sounds familiar.
Oh,
Name.
From Beyond.
From Beyond?
And
Oh,
the
yeah,
Reanimator. He's the director?
Yes.
Oh, cool. And then Joel continues. He says, but it did giant fighting robots first. It walked so Pacific Rim could run.
Pacific Rim.
Or maybe Real Steel.
Oh, I see.
I guess we'll find out what size of giant fighting robots. He says Pacific Rim, so they got to be kaiju size, I guess.
Oh, another childhood memory
Two men,
ruined by us.
Two machines. Too wild. That's on the poster.
Wow, that sounds like a porno. Yeah. Oh, it's streaming on Amazon Prime.
Right
Perfect.
on.
And Tubi and Pluto if you have already boycotted Daddy Bezos.
If you tell us that you rent this movie one more time.
Swear to God, I'm going to climb over this table, Tyler. It actually says it's not available to rent anywhere, only streaming.
Is that true?
That's what it says here.
Oh,
yeah.
really? Okay.
Yeah. On,
if you
on
find a
JustWatch.
way.
If you find a way.
If you go to the library, pay for a library card.
Are they free?
I think they are free.
I
Somehow.
pay for a library
You
card.
slip them a $5 bill.
Take my money.
Yeah, grease their palms a little bit and get a...
Sir, it's free.
It's
No,
like,
no.
No, I
just
respect
think of it as a tip.
I respect what you guys do here. Okay, so we'll watch Robot Jocks, our last of the dedicated Patreon picks. And not to saying that the next one couldn't be a Patreon pick after that, but it's just going to go. We're going to reopen the whole wheel. The wheel is going to go up, open
Back
up.
to our regularly scheduled programming.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And next week, we are going to do our final fan pick roundup of the year. It's December fan pick roundup.
We still have 2 more movies.
Behind the mask.
Yeah, but those are like new releases. So we got to figure out what we're going to do for 2024 for the fan picks, the non-Patreon fan picks.
Okay.
Yeah, there's 2 of those remaining.
Yeah, cool. So anything else you guys wanted to bring up, fellas?
I think that's it.
I don't think so, no.
Okay, so thank you to the podcast listeners in the OG land, Twitch and YouTube for everybody who is still with us on those services. We really appreciate it. You guys watching and chiming in. And thank you to our cool ass yard duties over on Patreon. That's Javier, listener Steven, Heather Sachs, Ryan Corbin, and Chris. And we will, if you want to support us or hop in the last remaining cool ass yard duty slot over on Patreon, just go over to patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass to support us. Until next time. Thank you for listening to our reviews and our long gab and chatter this week. Follow us next week as we review Robot Jocks from listener Joel. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
And follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class and leave us a voicemail, why don't you, at 209-730-6010.
And follow us on Twitter at Podcast MCFC and on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class.
And please hop over to the YouTube channel, subscribe, watch some of our new release reviews, and spread the word there. It means a lot. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
See ya.
Class dismissed.
I gotta get out of here.
The bell doesn't dismiss you. I dismiss you.
You're free to go.
See you next week.
See you later. See you later.
That's a wrap.
Great show.